Dr. Tom Price is with us right now, the former Health and Human Services Secretary, and again, a doctor by training. So, Tom, very good to have you. A lot of people are looking at the president's rather mild condition, and Joe Manchin now just testing positive for, again, a mild case, we're told, of COVID. But you're hearing a lot more people getting this thing. The cases are spiking in Europe. They're spiking in China again. Do you worry?
Well, I think we all need to be worried about those individuals, especially who have underlying illnesses, comorbidities, who are at greater risk, and seniors. The president turns 80 this November, so him turning positive is a significant thing. We're all glad that he seems to be coming through this with flying colors. But this isn't over, but we're moving into a new phase, a phase where it appears to be differentiated by the fact that it tends to exacerbate underlying disease as opposed to causing significant respiratory disease like it did at the beginning. You know,
so many people are so, sick and tired of the mask thing, threats of a shutdown or rolling lockdowns, that they don't want to hear, don't want to have it. What do you think of that? And does that imperil our coming out of this?
Well, there's definitely COVID fatigue, no doubt about it. But remember that a pandemic is a new disease that is widespread geographically, and we're still in that phase. But it doesn't speak to the severity of the disease. So I think that folks and pandemics tend to end when people say, I'm okay with the risk. I've either been vaccinated, or I have natural immunity, or I feel healthy and I'm okay with the risk. So that society tends to decide when these things are over. The interesting question is, when does the public health emergency end? Because that's where government gains other authorities and powers that they normally wouldn't have, whether it's in insurance premiums or telehealth rules and regulations or other kinds of rules and regulations. And I promise you that the emergency won't end until after the fall election, because that would be too disruptive from a governmental standpoint.
You mentioned the fall election. I'd be remiss as a former cabinet secretary to President Trump whether all this back and forth on the January 6th committee hearings is putting a dent in the former president's popularity, and whether you have doubts.
Well, I think like the pandemic, folks are ready to move on and look through the front windshield as opposed to the rear view mirror. And I know that we've got from a Republican perspective, a whole breed of individuals out there who are anxious to demonstrate their ability to lead and move forward.
So does that mean you would look beyond Donald Trump?
Oh, I think it's important for the nation to move forward and look beyond the past president. I think that there's baggage that the past president brings to the table that can attract some individuals, but on the other hand, turns off other individuals. And again, I mentioned that President Biden turns 80 this November. Former President Trump is certainly up there in years in a similar way. So I think it's important to have younger individuals get involved in the political process and move our nation forward in a positive way.
Secretary, Dr. Tom Price, very good seeing you again. A little lot more. That's it.
Thanks, Neil. Take care.